You're on.
Welcome back, everyone, from your break. We're now ready for our second trainer, Miss Glenda Teams Edwards.
Thank you. Today, we're going to be talking about how to sponsor new clubs and mentor to new clubs. How many of you have been a sponsor of a new club? We've got some newbies in here. Wonderful. All right. So we're going to talk about what your duties are going to be, how to cultivate a corporate club, which I have a bunch of new information. I've come packed with new information from the International Convention. So I'm looking forward to sharing this information with you. We're going to talk about how to launch a community club, to feed their enthusiasm, complete the paperwork, which we've already talked about, so we probably won't go too much into detail about that. Plan your presentation, which we've already talked about that. We're also going to talk about how to organize a new club and how to set up those club meetings. And complete the paperwork, which we've already talked about, so we won't worry about that. There are 4 types of clubs. You have a corporate club, which the majority of those are closed clubs, but we're finding the corporate clubs that tend to struggle now are opening their doors to the public. So they're keeping the corporate name, but they're opening the doors to the public. You have the community club. Those are open clubs, open to anyone. You have the advanced clubs. The majority of them require that you be a member of a second, or have a home club, and then be a member. I know with Blue Moon, you have to be an ACB or an ALB to join that club. With the Advanced Toastmasters of Asheville, it's 6 speeches or two levels of pathways. With Advanced Communicators, Charlotte, it's a CC. So some have levels that you have to complete to be a member of that club. And then there's a specialty club. Can anyone tell me what a specialty club is? Deb.
Gee, I remember 2 specialty clubs. The first one is called Eat Your Words. And Eat Your Words is a dinner club that is totally impromptu. We meet in a restaurant, so you have the distraction of a restaurant, and you never know what role you're going to fill until you walk in the door and you open up the grab bag and you pick your role. So you always have to have a hip pocket speech and the documentation for your evaluation with you.
I've always heard the saying, have a hip pocket speech, right?
Well, this is a perfect opportunity. And then the other specialty club I'm a member of is called Caffeinated Boneheads. And it used to be called Funny Bone 2. We are a comedy club. So we are working on humor and timing. Not so much being able to be a comedian, go to the Comedy Zone, but to be able to put humor in your day-to-day speeches. So we talk about a lot of impromptu and improv and things like that, because oftentimes you don't know what life's going to throw at you. So you need to be able to catch it and throw it back.
So those are specialty clubs. And Dan, I saw your eyes kind of perk open with the grab bag. In High Country, what we did how many months during the year have a 5th week? Once a quarter, you have a 5th week. So we took that 5th week meeting and made it a grab bag meeting. Through a curveball. Yes, Kim.
I went to a club out in Portland, Oregon area. They're a TV club. They put on productions.
That is our other advantage. We do have another special. Well, they're now a special.
Specialty club is what did they were
Advanced articulators,
and now they've changed to something in motion or something like that. They tape their entire meeting. They do it all
They
over
actually do it at a TV station.
Yes, that's what I experienced. And I was actually on their channel. It was great.
Awesome.
Actually, when we did the very first meeting there, years and years ago, Walter Cronkite was one of the speeches. I was the producer.
That's right, and I was table topics master.
Yes.
Yes. Years ago. I
You forgot that.
I remember that. Yes.
It's the same TV station.
about how to build a Toastmasters Club. This is the book, it's How to Start or How to Build a Toastmasters Club. You can download that and take it with you when you're starting a club. Talked about the forms, we're not going to talk about those again. Promotional materials. Make sure that you have enough promotional materials, especially about pathways. Find a club, those trifolds, any type of free information that you can get from Toastmasters, have that display. They'll pick up things that they can take with them.
Magazines too.
Magazines too, yes. 2 sponsors. Why 2 sponsors?
Share the work.
Share the work. 2 sponsors and 2 mentors. So you've got 4 people. I'm currently a mentor for McDowell County Toastmasters. They're 4 away from chartering. We have the 2 sponsors and we have 2 mentors, and we're there at every meeting. The good thing is, my other co-mentor, they've gone out of the state for a while. So I'm there when he's not there, and he's there when I'm not there. But he's also going to be joining the club, so that's a great thing. And we do, like what Sharon said, at the end of the meeting, we offer them feedback. You want the district director as part of the team, the club growth director, and what other Toastmasters do you want as part of your team?
For starting the club?
We talked about it.
Division director, area director.
Yep. Your division and area directors.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Can a person be a sponsor and a mentor at the
Yes.
same time?
I sure can.
I was for Valentine's.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
And I was it for a year and a half.
I was for High Country. So yes, you can be a sponsor and a mentor. Yes, Dan.
Are my signals off just a little bit? Can we have meetings before chartering?
Absolutely.
And they can be Toastmaster meetings, not just let's get together and discuss this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of the things that we're going to talk about. So
Okay.
let's get on into this, and then we're going to put it all together. So you want to identify your target. Is it a corporate club? What's the company? If it's an open club, it's totally different. So we're going to talk about corporations. Identify your corporation, the company. The size, we talked about 250 employees. The location. Now, Valentine, where I chartered my first club, Valentine Toastmasters, there's over 30 buildings in that corporate park. And it was funny because we can use the meeting room where I worked in my office. It was too small. But then Steve Eads calls me, not even an hour after I presented it to my boss. He goes, well, I'm just 3 buildings away from you. Can we charter this club? If they have multiple locations, which building are they going to use? If it's a college campus club, and they say, oh, it's an Apex building. That's not your location. And that's one thing, if you're chartering a campus club, make sure you get the 911 physical address. Because Apex building tells them nothing. They're going to go riding around the campus trying to find the building. And it's happened.
And if it's on a hospital campus,
Oh, yeah.
do the same thing.
Yeah, we've got one in Morganton.
Yeah, don't tell people, oh, it's at the hospital. Actually, it's not.
It's behind the hospital up the road and back down the hill.
Tower, where the hell they
You remember where we were for Burke? That's what we're talking about.
Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about it. Exactly.
are? Yeah, you can't get there from the
Yeah, they
mountains.
up in here.
911 physical address works great. What type of revenue? When Piedmont Natural Gas chartered their club, they paid the $20. No, they paid for everybody's due. No, they paid for the $20. That's what it was. They paid for the $20. No, they paid for everybody's dues. That's what it was. Pay for everybody's dues. They had to complete 10 speeches. If they didn't complete the 10 speeches, they had to pay back
Wow.
to the company.
Skin in the game.
Okay. You've got some companies, they'll pay the $20 and make you pay the $45. That way you've got skin in the game.
Yeah. If you've got a Bank of America location that is looking to start a Toastmasters club, Bank of America has a special arrangement with TI. They will pay the charter fee and they will pay the $20 new member fee. But what they do is they get a bill once a month from Toastmasters International for any club in the world that they have, because they have 60-some clubs, and they write one check, well, they do one debit a month to pay Toastmasters International. So you have to make a special note, and there's special documentation you have to go through to get their funds.
And, yes,
What about, you mentioned schools, are schools considered a closed club?
yes, schools, your universities are closed clubs to the students. Now, what about after 5 bell tower?
Open.
It's an open club, but it's
But don't they have isn't there a faculty Toastmasters club?
No.
well,
Is one of the,
most college campus clubs, it's stated from Toastmasters that 50% plus one must be a student ratio to faculty staff open. And I think after 5 bell tower, the majority of them are grad students, aren't they?
The majority of students.
Yeah.
And I'm a member, Ken's a member of the back to find out now.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, so you gotta look at those ratios as well. Who are the key contacts and who are your decision makers? And I will say, college campuses, those that are typically 100% students, do not last. We have found that out because they're moving on when school's on, after school. And it's the faculty and staff that are members there that keep that club going through the whole year because you've got a new group of people coming in. So make sure that if you do that you have those.
when,
Yes.
Have we made any headways with community colleges?
Yes, we've got several with community clubs.
since Piedmont has,
Piedmont Community College in Charlotte. They've got, remember the lady in the humor speech contest last fall?
Yeah.
She's from CPCC.
Excellent.
she's a part-time instructor.
Yeah. Yeah. The lady that rocked that stage.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, she was. And any other company information that you need, what are the meetings of? Do you have to go through security? Merrick, you have to go through security. Several others, you have to go through security.
And some of them you have to relinquish your phone.
Yeah.
We had one club in Charlotte that was a very high-tech security campus because they did military weaponry for the government, and you had to relinquish your phone because they had not any photography.
Recent news articles. Another great way to arm yourself when you're going into a corporation. And I just stumbled across this information. And you can Google it. Corporate Toastmaster clubs. 28 pages of corporations that have Toastmasters clubs. 28 pages. And they're like, I don't know if we want to start a club here. Here you go. 28 pages of corporations. This is a good reason why to start one. Yeah. And if you're interested, another great place to put news articles, especially for corporate, is in the business journals in those cities. Charlotte Business Journal, Wilmington, wherever the business journals are, that's another great place to put information about Toastmasters. Free.
Yeah.
This is what I learned at the convention through Pat Johnson's corporate club seminar. You have to change your mindset from open club to closed club, or basically from a community club to a corporate club. In a community club, it's a mindset. I want to be there, I need to do something for myself. It's my mindset. For a corporate club, it's advancement. So when you're talking to them, what's the, in a corporate club, it's advancement. When we think club, no, think program. Think program. We like to have fun in open clubs. They like to have fun too, but they also want to know about results and the efficiencies. Social network for us in the open. It is social, but it's engagement development. It's exposure, it's promotion. We like to learn by doing, yes. So do they, but it's called productivity or transferable skills. You're talking their language. Accountability is there on both sides. Casual dress, oh yeah. Business dress because you dress business side in the corporate world. What about the language? We call it dues. They want to know what they're getting for their money. Tuition. liaison. It's a transferable skill. We like to evaluate, but they want to know what the feedback is. Think of performance reviews. We call it the DCP. It's a KPI for them. Start talking their language.
Is that in the package?
Not that. No,
But it
this
will
is
be
just,
when
this is fresh stuff I just learned. Yeah, this is what I learned from Pat. So we want to really start talking their language. And then you've got to introduce yourself, of course. And that probably should come back with it. The first thing you do is introduce yourself, coming in as a sponsor. You want to set up an appointment with them, which we've gone over all of this. Prepare for the meeting. Share about other corporations, especially if you're already a member of a corporate club. You've got great stories to tell. Wrap it up.
Just one point.
Yes.
My discussion, I had the area director of our team doing that. I didn't say the sponsor position. This is an extra. This is something we should also consider.
Yeah, because so how we're set up here, it should be here. The sponsors can be in there with you, but if you're going to be there to help with the beginning of the paperwork, or are you going to be there at the end of the paperwork? Because if you're not, the sponsors need to be involved with you so that they can help them complete the paperwork. Does that make sense?
You know, they're doing this sponsor. But we still work hand in hand.
Right. So finalizing, and we determine what portion goes to that the company will pay, which we've already talked about that. Designated club officer to hold the payments. If you've got a sponsoring club, that's going to be who's going to hold those payments for you. And hold the payments until they are sent to Toastmasters International, which we've talked about calling them in. Deposit it into another account. We've already talked about a demo meeting. See, a lot of it overlaps, so you're hearing it again. Keep your demo meeting or launch meeting short and within the time frame. Include 3 aspects if time is limited. We talked about selecting the demonstration team or the launch team.
What do you mean aspects? You table topics, speeches, and feedback?
Your 3 portions, the main portions of your meetings. Yep. Select Toastmasters. Now here's the question I have to ask. As a sponsor and a mentor, should you be filling the major roles? At the beginning, so we want to go ahead and start holding meetings, right? You've got 2 sponsors already picked out, you've got 2 mentors already picked out.
Oh, this is the demonstration meeting.
No.
Meeting number 2, 3, and 4.
Meetings 2, 3, and 4. They're brand spanking new. They know nothing about Toastmasters. Your sponsors and mentors should fill those major roles until they feel comfortable enough to step into those roles.
Yeah. And if you've got a script, share.
Yes, have scripts. I have ours laminated for timer, Toastmaster, for all roles. I have it laminated and we give it to them. But what I like to do even better is, hey, Ramona, welcome to the club. This is Sharon. I'm going to send you here with Sharon. Sharon, would you mind walking her through the agenda? I know your timers are not, but would you let her do the role and you explain it? But let her do the function so that way she gets used to the function of the role and the next meeting she can take it on her own. Yes.
I've coined a name for that, a meeting mentor.
Yes. Yep. That's what I like to do. And I'm going to pause here because this was something that was brought up at ATA just at this last meeting. And I heard there was a bit of discussion. I was unfortunately in Chicago. So I want to throw this out here because I agree and I disagree. Back in my day when I was coming in, as a sponsor and mentor, I was told, and it was actually part of the slideshow and I took it out. Do you believe that a Toastmaster, to be a sponsor and or mentor, should have their ACB or ALB or both in order to fill those roles? Why or why not?
Should they have certain education levels in order to be a mentor
Right.
or a sponsor?
Right. Or should you pick somebody who's got 2 speeches to be a sponsor.
A sponsor, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
can be anybody, especially if they're putting the money up as sponsorship, it can be anybody.
Okay, but what about a mentor?
Mentor, I don't know what kind of demarcation, but they've got to have experience. How can you train if you don't know yourself?
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Yeah. The sponsor is the person getting the lead, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah,
Working the
yeah.
lead, working
Right. Okay, so let's look at, while we've got this discussion going, let's look at this check sheet. The sponsor check sheet. This tells you everything that a sponsor is supposed to do from the day they get that lead until the day it charters. Everything they're supposed to do on there. So yes, they're putting up if they put up the 125, they may not. But whoever puts up that 125, but this is everything that a sponsor is to do. Now here's the other question that I want to throw out there. If we're talking acronyms and do they need to have an ACB or ALB, let's say Ramona wants to be the club sponsor or club mentor. But the only club that she's been in is a weak club. She's never been in a strong club. She's never visited another club.
ever.
Ever. Do you want them to be a mentor sponsor?
Definitely not a sponsor.
Definitely not a mentor. Because all they know is what a weak club is. How can they mentor a club to be a strong club? Those are questions you have to ask and think about when we're choosing our sponsors and our mentors. Because if you put someone in there that's weak, what kind of club are you going to
Yeah,
get?
look at the results you're gonna get.
And we have a club that charted this past year. The individual that was a sponsor and mentor is already saying this club isn't going to make it through the end of this year.
Already, they haven't been chartered 6 months.
Yeah, she's already saying they will fail
Well,
this year.
to-
You can pull her out and throw them in there. Pull her out and give them the mentor in there.
I don't know. That's going to be, it's on Eric's side, so that'll be an Eric call.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's what you got to look at,
Yeah.
is who you're assigning to those clubs.
Do you set somebody up, do you set a club up to fail?
Yeah.
And the answer is you shouldn't. So think about who you're putting in a position to train the new members.
Person who's seen clubs fail because of weak.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And again, that's when you've got to be careful of sponsor and mentor being the same person. You know, there's advantages and there's disadvantages. And yes, we've both been sponsors and mentors of the same club, but I truly feel like had we been weak, then yes, maybe sponsor, but no one mentor. And the problem with this situation is that the weak sponsor mentor isn't even telling the officers things like TLI, area contests,
Yeah.
stuff like that. She doesn't feel that they're ready.
Oh,
They
that's
chartered in February.
They told them they weren't ready to compete, that they shouldn't even go to the conference.
Yeah, they should not go to the conference. That was a,
Because they were not ready.
Where's this club at? Can I go?
And I say this,
Morganton?
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 Well, I did judge a drum corps contest there one time. That is a little stretch from where I am now. At that point, I was.
gone
And
there.
you're gone, and we're just like,
Yeah.
I firmly believe that, listen, if I can find somebody with a lot of heart and only 25 to 35% of the skill level,
Right.
long as they've got the heart, that skill level is going to grow.
Exactly.
I will make certain that the skill level grows, but if you got to have heart engaged into what you're doing, and even like with the projects I'm working on now with Ramona, and then the other one for the meetups group with David Lindquist, I went and found people with heart, some technical expertise, and that varies from person to person. But I'll tell you what, man, I've got a team over there rocking and rolling in New Bern that's just upside down because their heart is engaged to it. So they're finding out everything they have to make it successful.
now, if you've got someone like that, and then you find someone like Deb, put them together, because how often should they be at the meeting? Every week. This way, if Deb's absent, I know what I'm doing, because she and I are on the same page and we're teaching you the same thing. Same thing goes with the mentors. You got two of them. Tony and I are together at McDowell County. When he's not there, I know what he's teaching, and we keep each other in the loop with our emails too. Anything he emails to the to the club, I'm copied on, and vice versa.
I have a tough district question.
Yes.
You see this is happening, you see this woman is torpedoing this club. What is district's responsibility? Can district just say, whoever, Elmer, whoever, take her out? To hell with feelings, this club is failing.
Right,
This
right,
woman.
yeah.
Yes. And she's like the VP of this year or the president. No, she's VP of Ed.
VP education, remember it's one of those?
VP education. Yes.
Yes.
Why can't, let's just make up something. Let's I go in and I tell Bill, I just heard